Yesterday, somebody asked me, why should we fear God? The Bible says we should fear God, right? So why should we fear him? Here's my answer. We shouldn't. Oh, yes, the Bible, particularly the Hebrew Bible, talks about fear of the Lord all the time, and this was a typical ancient response to any sort of divine presence that should be feared. The gods and the ultimate God, Yahweh, was in charge of everything, in charge of the world, in charge of the weather, in charge of what happened, and so fear would be an appropriate response. But then Jesus shows up, who is the ultimate revelation of God's character, superseding any prior revelation of God's character, and shows us that God is not one to be feared. The book of 1 John chapter 4 gets this. It says, there is no fear in love. Perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. And the one who fears is not made perfect in love. In other words, if we're still stuck fearing God, we're stuck in old ways of thinking. We're stuck in ways of thinking that assumes that God is out to get us, that God is out to punish us, that God has bad intentions out for us. Now, respect. Absolutely. God should be respected. God is creator after all. God is almighty, and God is one who moves towards us with affection. And so I think that does deserve respect. And the phrase of fear of the Lord has taken on its own meaning that is less about, boot shaking fear and more about that sort of respect. And you see that in the New Testament. But overall, if our general feeling towards God is one of fear, then according to John, we have not been perfected in love. We have not grasped the truth that God is love, and love casts out all fear.